How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Blue Shifting, and welcome back to me being on the Blue Shifting. It's good to be back. I'm not going to dwell too much on like the fun, quote, fun that happened, but just needless to say, it was really good to have the break. Probably won't be the last thing I do. Goodness knows I now need a vacation. Would be nice to do something for me, so I'm sure I'm going to be taking little breaks here or there. Also, it's insanely humid. It kind of came in like a thunderhead for the last few days, and so my hair is gone whoosh. My hair curls when it's humid. It actually curls if it gets really long too, but the curls tighten when it gets like humid and just, that's just where we are. So, hi. Anyway, we are going to be going back in now. It's been a while, but I can remember. I've likely got a fairly good memory for stuff like this. It just. I keep track of these stories in my head. They mean a lot to me, and it's just something I do. Part of why I think I'm actually really good to make content like this on the channel and even have multiple games being played at the same time, because I don't typically lose too much track. Now, I can be bad with character names, and that can take a while to stick, but eventually I get them down pretty good. So here we are with Mashiro. We're kind of doing a focus on her. And it's been good, because she was the character who I was the most, I had no knowledge of, had no... the inclination of who she is, what she wants, and why she's here. So it's kind of nice that we are really kind of starting with her. Not starting with her per se, because I think we had a lot of Rika time the last chapter, but I feel like we have a lot more to explore for her. So I imagine she'll be coming back around again. But for now, it's nice to focus on Mashiro, and I got to talk about Monster Hunter, and I've been thinking about that. It's like enough where I'm almost wanting to pick up the game again. But I don't know if I have time. God, I have no time. I have no time for anything. I have time for... I've been doing so much other stuff, too. I came back and I started working on my garden again. I have been trying to grow different types of fruit this year, and I'm having what looks like a very successful blackberry season coming up. I planted a blackberry bush 2 years ago. Took a couple years to get set in. I didn't really get any berries last year, but this year I'm probably going to have hundreds. It's going to be crazy. I also have grapes. I planted at the same time, a grape plant, and this is the first year we're getting the grapes, and they're bunched up and everything. And then I went and talked to my grandma as I was out visiting people, and talked about gardening, because that's one of the things that she enjoys, and she immediately was like, oh, get bird netting to protect your fruit. So I ordered that. So this week I'm going to put it up to try and make sure, because as soon as the fruit gets sweet, the birds will try and come and grab it. So I want to, keep it safe as safe as I can. So I'll be putting the netting up probably this week. So again, no time. Anyway, enough rambling about my life. Let's jump into Aokana, because it is good to be back. So I think what we're doing now, if I recall correctly, is part of us wants to get good at the game because we're sick and tired of just being crap at it. Now, Mashiro did sneak into our backpack a kind of guide. I'm we don't have proof it was her, but I think it was her, because I think she sees us struggling. She wants us to succeed now because she's getting kind of invested, even though she was having fun, berating us because of how terrible we were. But it's nice to kind of get this ability for her to kind of be like, hey, I'd want to share something I'm passionate with, and I'm willing to help you. And I think he sat down, started reading the manual, and been practicing, and now we're going to see the results of that, which will be good. So let's jump in, shall we? Remember, Insect Glaive is the best, or at least it's my best. I think everybody has a different preferred weapon or two in Monster Hunter if you play it. Someone else said it might be related to God Eater as well, which I don't know too much about. I know there was a game series, but I mostly am familiar with the anime, because I watched the first season of it, and it was okay. I wouldn't say it was it stood out, I remember a lot about it, but it also wasn't earth-shattering or world-changing, so it's kind of meh. So I imagine the game's fun, but I'm Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter's good. Alright, anyway, let's jump in. Enough rambling. Color me surprised, she says. A few days later, I've gotten so good, I've surprised my coach. Okay, maybe I'm talking myself up a little. Honestly, I only just got to the point where I can play the game normally.
Senpai, 上手くなりましたね.
Aw, really?
そうですよ.
Thanks. I tried to make my response sound casual, but I'm actually super hyped about the accomplishment.
こいつ狩りましょう。雷属性で.
I wonder what kind of weapon he has. What's his preference? It's a subspecies, so we need fire weapons, actually.
あ、そっか.
After that, we wordlessly work our PSQs for a while. The udon store may be empty, but I still feel a little out of place sitting here in the corner mashing buttons. We'll probably move elsewhere if customers start coming in, but for now, I'll just focus on the enemies in the game.
すごいですね。
Suddenly, the lone word escapes Mashiro's tightly sealed lips. What's amazing?
こんなに上手くなっちゃうんだって。
I mean, is it? Wait a minute, did she not give us the guide? I could have sworn it was her. Maybe somebody else did. It's all thanks to my coach, really.
じゃあ、私の FC が上達しないのはなんででしょう。
Oh, there we go. Because she's like, okay. So it was because of her. She coached us and we got better. And so now she's wondering, like, why am I not getting better when you coach me? And I think she's like, the initial reaction might be to blame him, saying, like, you're being a bad coach because I'm not getting better. But she's probably seeing the other girls getting better. And so she's like, why am I not getting any better? Because I'm not a kind enough coach, maybe? I asked her that, but this whole gaming experience has already helped me reach the right answer.
先輩、私に優しくした記憶あります？
To be honest, there's no real need for a coach to be kind. However, I know I should have at least made our relationship clear from the start. Man, this is depressing.
ごめんなさい。嘘です。
Huh? Why are you apologizing?
先輩は悪くないです。
Oh, interesting.
先輩は私と同じように始めたばかりのモンタッタで。
Okay, so maybe that's why someone said, they said it might be Monster Hunter and God Eater. Because it's a combination of Monster Hunter, God Eater, so Mon-Eat. Okay.
私と同じような気持ちになったはずなのに、それでもって練習し続けた。しょうがないって諦めた私とは違った。誰かのせいにしないで、ちゃんと自分で努力した。
Actually, I think this attitude is the biggest thing that happens for the majority of people, especially when you're young. I don't know about you, but when I grew up, maybe it was a combination of like seeing people who were succeeding at stuff and be like watching television shows and things where like it felt like the main heroes, for the sake of narrative, would be like, oh, I want to try this new thing. And yeah, they might suck at first, but they almost immediately become good. Everyone starts recognizing them like, wow, they're like a prodigy, or wow, you're so good and so talented, right? And it makes it look like, it's like, oh yeah, you just work a little bit, you put in that effort, and then boom, you're going to be successful. If you like it enough, you care enough, you'll be good. They don't really show effort and the consistency that's required to actually pull that off, because they shortcut it, because it's entertainment. They don't actually show it. I mean, even this, we haven't watched him go through a training montage of Mon-Eat. We haven't really seen them doing training on FC every single day, but it's there. It would be a part of their actual experience. But because we don't see it, it makes it feel like that, oh, you know, people could just be good at things. They just have the natural born talent. It's easy to start dismissing things that, oh, I can't be good at that. That's how I approached art. That's how I approached drawing. When I was younger, I would picture in my head these vivid scenes and characters and things I wished I so badly I could get on paper. Still kind of do, actually. And I always just assumed, oh man, look at these great artistic people. I could never draw art. I'm just not an artist. It's just not me. Every artist I've talked to has all said the same thing. Just start drawing. You'll get better. It'll happen. They're right. And it took me way too long to recognize that. Same goes for you. Whatever you're interested in, even if you suck. Because yeah, you probably do. You know why? Because it takes a long time to get good at anything, and no one starts off good. Man, that's actually one of the things I do. I talk about this all the time, and it doesn't matter for anybody else but me, really. But a lot of YouTubers I've seen will delete or at least hide some of their earlier content that's embarrassing, not on focus, not on brand, you know, whatever, because it helps them in the algorithm. Maybe that's true. But for me, I'm never going to hide that. I want to always have my oldest, earliest videos be available, because that means something to me. Because I can look back at that and be like, wow, look how much I've learned and grown. Look how rough that was. Oh, you don't even know. One of my first visual novel I think I played was Sound of Drop Fall into Poison. Still interesting visual novel, still fun that I picked it as my first one. I think it was because at the time I used to watch Anime Man and Lost Pause, who occasionally did visual novel content on their channels. Lost Pause especially. Anime Man did it a little bit too. And I think it was one of the series that Anime Man picked up that looked interesting as a concept. So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to make that my first playthrough, and then I'll watch his playthrough afterwards and kind of compare the two. It's a way for me to try and learn. And man, I had so many problems with that. I was recording that on a laptop with a webcam built into the laptop, a snowball microphone, which picked up everything in the room, not just me, including the echoes. And because I had desync issues, because the capture of the game was never quite in time with the actual gameplay, it meant I had to micromanage all the audio to try and make it somewhat synced up properly. And that meant that editing those videos used to take me, because I also was bad at editing, it used to take me like 4 hours of work to get one video, like just to get the audio all matched up, and then I had to do all the rest of it as well. I've now streamlined that process. I've made that process much more efficient, so my editing is a lot shorter because I know what I'm doing, and I know where to make cuts. I know how to make the content and the audio work. But I had to learn. So I go back and I look at that and I'm like, wow, that's rough. It's almost hard to watch, honestly. But it was still where I started. So yeah, just start. You just gotta start. I don't care what your passion is. And the problem is, for me, I get pulled in too many directions of passion. I like running tabletop RPGs. I want to publish books someday, and I can never give myself the time to write. I do the visual novels on YouTube. Like, these are things I love. But dedicate yourself to at least one thing. Push yourself hard. You'll make something you can be proud of. It'll be successful. I don't know. I haven't found that answer yet. I haven't been able to make that truly happen. Not on the scale of, like, turning a hobby into a job. But I've found a hobby that makes me happy. So yeah. Anyway, sorry. Wow, ranting already.
だから、先輩は悪くないです。すみませんでした。
Oh yeah, I almost forgot why I went on that rant. That's how she approaches stuff. She talked about how that feeling of like, oh, I just assumed I'm not good. Like, you try something and you're not very good. You see other people trying, even people who started around the time you did, and they seem to just soar. They seem to take off, and it just seems wonderful and works perfectly for them. And so you just tend to beat yourself up and be like, yeah, you know what, I'm just bad. And you just kind of live with it. And that's not fair. That's not right either. Because I bet you don't know the sacrifice that those people were putting behind the scenes. The hours of time they put into practicing without you being able to see them. It's hard, especially when you're young, to see that. Because you tend to just see success. Kind of like how social media only shows the best parts of our lives and doesn't reflect all the pain, struggle, and boredom in between. Even for those people who seem to be always posting and always happy, it's like, they're not. She apologizes without looking at me in the eye. Listen, I feel like we won't get anywhere if we keep playing the blame game. Also, it really doesn't matter who's at fault. Let's just say you introduced me to Mani has helped me understand you better. By tackling something Mashiro's good at, I was able to get her perspective on things. If it wasn't for that, I still wouldn't understand her feelings. It's all because you took the effort to reach out to me. I'm sorry, and above all else, thank you. Now it's me who has those eyes fixed on the screen. I know I should be looking at her in the eye when we're having such a serious conversation, but I have to admit, I can only make such an embarrassing confession because we aren't looking at each other. Mashiro? Oh. Back to Doppelganger. Mashiro's character moves to an area away from where the boss is located. Then she goes and replaces herself with a plushie like last time. She's currently hiding behind a pillar with only her eyes poking out. Mashiro.
聞かないでください。答えられないです。
Oh, okay. Does she hate it what I just said? That's an expression of rejection, right? I look at the plushie. I didn't know this before, but in the game, he's the guy who's always giving the MC advice despite bad-mouthing him. Doom meow. You're actually a really nice guy. I stroke the plushie on impulse. It's kind of like what you see a cute animal, you know? Why? It's not you. What? It's a stuffed animal. It's fine. How can I what? After she says that, she grabs the plushie and storms off to her room. Huh? Yeah, I'm confused too, bro. I'm so confused. I think it's because she was superimposing herself as the plushie, you know, like standing for her, and then he like pats it on the head, and that kind of like felt like she was being pat on the head transically. It's almost like what is it, the indirect kiss, but even more indirect.
いいの？部屋に帰ってきちゃって。
Mom here batting for us.
いいの？ここにいてもちゃんと向こうに会話届くから。あら、そう。お母さん、それで何の用？後で、さっきのあれ。
え？ What?
ぬいぐるみ。いいわけないでしょ！ダメ？今晩抱いて寝るから？
Okay.
寝ません！ファブラーズかけまくるだけです！
Oh, okay.
またまた。
Uh-huh. Could she actually have a thing for us now? That'd be wild, considering how she's like so obsessed with Mizuki. I always thought they would have to have a falling out before they like it would start opening up that type of feeling.
っていうかお母さんがなんであんなのいるのよ！絶対必要ないでしょ！いやね、ちょっと改造とかしてみようかな。
Oh yeah, no, don't do that.
改造？あれにツインテールつけて誰かさんに似せて、
Oh no.
それでなでなでされちゃったら、
Oh no.
マシロは一体どうなっちゃうのかしら？
Mom, you're not helping.
出てってよ！
What the fetch is happening? Feels like I'm eavesdropping on a fight between mother and daughter, but I've got no clue what they're saying. Wonder what Mashiro's mom means. Oh, Aokana. Well, okay. So, that's a thing. Alright, moving on. Our club room, which used to be filled with talk of hunting monsters, is now starting to return to normal.
やってるみたいだね。
Mizuki speaks in on my PSQ screen. She left her PSQ back home. Seems she's already bored of the game. Sure am. She obviously doesn't just mean Mon eat here. Seems Misaki. Yeah, did I say Misaki earlier? It's Misaki. Misaki is a lot more worried about my relationship with Mashiro than I thought.
頑張れ。
Thanks. I'm doing it all for your udon too.
だね。もちろん先払いでもいいよ。
Uh-huh. Nah, maybe if Mashiro was with us, but not now.
なんかめんどくさそう。
Why? Why would that be a huge pain? Why? Like, look, if it bothers you how much she's kind of like a little like toady of yours, tell her this to stop it, maybe? Wow, that's pretty darn rude. I'm not even involved, but I feel bad that Mashiro's being treated like this when she's adores Misaki. Yeah, I kind of don't like that either, honestly. Like, I've kind of not liked it from the beginning, but now that we're getting to know her better, it's also like, I'm kind of like, Misaki, like, you're kind of a jerk. Can't you be a little nicer to Mashiro?
別にべったりすることが優しさとは思わない。
Okay, alright. Maybe she's got a point, actually, there. It's like, give her a little, she'll, like, give her an inch, she'll take a mile kind of thing. I still think the better approach would just be not put her down. That makes it sound like we're executing her. Let her down gently.
とか言ったらそれっぽくない？
That's your flaw. You just don't like rocking the boat. Well, guess I shouldn't poke my nose where it doesn't belong.
マサヤさ、気づいてる？
About what?
長い付き合いの中で初めてそんなことを言ったよね。
What? Not poking your nose? True.
マシロは寂しんぼで警戒心が強いけど、一度出れるとすごいからね。
Oh, okay. I do think I can see that. I've definitely seen that before. It's almost like a desperation. I've seen it in its two extremes. I saw one guy who was the epitome of, I guess, what we would now call maybe like a Redditor or a Discord mod, jokingly. But in all seriousness, it was a big problem. He was horrifically desperate to find love. He just wanted to be in a relationship. He was so determined to find his like forever partner type thing and just go for it. And so he would dress up all the time in ways that he thought were fascinating. Like not like dressed up or fashionable, like almost formal. Dress shirts, ties, bow ties, with a cane. Like, he dressed up in a way he felt was impressive, but was very inappropriate for the settings, usually. He was very focused on, like, his very geeky topics, which, granted, I have a lot of geeky topics too, but that's not usually how I open conversations, nor do I spend all my time talking about the things I love, or the miniatures I paint, which I don't, but I should, that such things. But that's how he would, like, talk to everybody, especially any girls that he was finding interesting and pretty. He also was just, he really, okay. It's interesting because there's a fine line between being, like, sweet and paying attention and being creepy and a stalker. He fell onto the second side of that really hard. So he would, like, investigate and find out, like, maybe bands that the person likes of things that they posted online, or their birthday, or one of the weirdest things he did was he approached someone's mom. Like, they hadn't been on any dates, they hadn't done more than, like, had casual conversation, you know, at school or something, and then he just showed up at their house and talked to their mom and said, hey, I know her birthday's coming up, I want to get her a present, what do you think of this? Like, and pitched ideas to her mom. And it's like, okay, if you're, like, dating somebody actively and maybe thinking about going steady, that's kind of the time when it might make sense. Also, frankly, I would never introduce myself to someone who I was dating's parents. I would let them introduce me, right? That's just crazy, but it's what he did. And it was this kind of very cringe, because he just threw everything he had at them, and he just was really bad at timing. I mean, I feel bad because, like, there was good things about the guy. He was the most earnest person I've ever met, where he genuinely just wanted to make someone happy. He wanted to get married and have a beautiful family with somebody who was just as much into him as he was into them. But he was so intense. It was just a lot. And I feel like Mashiro has a similar a similar problem here, and that's that I think she throws herself 110% into the people around her because she really wants to have friendships and romance, and she's just desperate for it in a way, but she's been hurt in the past, and so she is also very reserved. So she doesn't throw herself at very many people, but the people whom she starts to get get close to, she can't help but wanting to throw herself at, and that's her problem.
迂闊な言動は命取りだと覚悟するんだね。
You say I know our character's too dense to understand what she's saying, but she is implying this idea that, like, that Mashiro is gonna fall in love with us, which is, like, would be real intense because we've barely just gotten to know her. You're speaking based on experience?
実行してないのにあれだから怖いんだよ。
Yeah, so she's like, look, if I'm mean to her, she's still clingy. If I start being nice to her, it'll get insane. Makes sense. Well, as things stand, I'll say we're just acquaintances at this point. Still, at least I finally moved past her initial negative perception of me. Yeah, but that's the thing, is, like, you see that. Her perspective might be different. Again, I'm thinking back to this guy I knew, and that was his problem. He was not really good at reading the room or understanding, like, where he fell in the social structure of the person. And he was, again, like, why did I call him, like, a Reddit mod or a Discord mod? It was mostly because he would interpret kindness as flirting. It was never just like in his mental image, it seemed like he saw girls either as people who never talked to him and he didn't know anything about, or madly in love with him and he was madly in love with them. There was no in between. I don't think any girls could ever have been his friend because he would never allow that space to exist, if that makes sense. If a girl showed interest and kindness and, like, wanted to chat, it meant that they must be flirting. That was his point of view, I think, and that was very, very, very hard to watch. I don't intend to get that close to her, so it's straight up impossible for things to evolve into anything serious. Don't say impossible, dude. Don't worry, there's no way anything's gonna happen between us.
だといいけどね。じゃあ今日は私帰る。
Well, I sure hope so. Yeah, see ya. I casually wave my hand at Misaki as she makes her way back out of the club room. I feel like I'm forgetting something as I look around the empty bus. What could it be? Seems a strange topic Misaki brought up has made me forget. Wait. I checked the time since it looks like it's gotten late. Oh, it's time for me to head back home. I turn my PSQ off and grab my bag. And I'm off. Then I get up and leave our club room.
Yo.
Hi. Hi. You're still the picture of beauty. Ugh.
なんだマサヤ。そんな声が出るようなことをしてたのか?
I feel like you have work for me. I'm not. I instinctively hide my PSQ by slipping it behind my back and then under my pants. Jeez, dude, it's not that bad of...
やましいことなんて別にないだろ。放課後に部室にいた。
Exactly.
何か忘れ物でも取りに来たのか?
Basically.
だろうと思った。
Glad to hear. Aoi-san's being awfully understanding here.
じゃ、後ろの手に持ってるものを正直に出してもらおうか。
Nothing. Turns out she read me like a book. I'm sorry. I obediently pull out the PSQ. I'm ready for her to start yelling at me, but...
で、ちゃんと仲良くなれたのか?
Go, how do you know? Huh? Wow, I'm surprised. She doesn't seem upset about the fact that I've been playing Manit in the club room. Instead, she's asking me about my reason for doing it as if she already knows. Did Madoka tell you?
ビンゴだ。あいつは見えて真面目だろ? しっかり報告しに来たさ。
Yeah, Madoka's pretty good. Even if she's a goofball and almost painfully awkward at times.
部室でゲームやってますが、ほどなく終わるので目をつぶってくださいってね。
I mean, that's nice of her, especially because we were like... Weren't we basically ostracizing her because you could only make teams of 4? She was always like the odd man out. And I played it up as a joke initially that she was just bad at timing her joining. But now it's like, did she ever join in with us? Or was she always in the background wanting to play? Because that'd be sad. Wow, I'm genuinely surprised she took care of things behind the scenes when she usually seems so careless. She's not, though. She's blatantly been very good about taking care of things. She just goofs around. I owe both Aoi-san and Madoka a ton.
で、どうだったんだ?
Oh, she helped. It's helped us understand each other better.
そうか。それはよかった。
It was a pretty drastic measure, but things have finally started to work out. She's a real handful. Though I'm also hard to deal with. Should really work on that.
思い出すな。
What do you mean? Aoi-san chuckles as I ask that question.
プロになるから学校は行かなくていいと、空を飛んでばかりいたガキンチョウをなだめたのをな。
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Ugh. I swear she never pulls any punches. Man, I was a super arrogant kid back in the day. I was convinced everything would work out exactly as I planned. Even I believed the blue sky existed for my sake. How embarrassing. I'm different now.
へえ、何がだ?
I'm a lot more rational now?
いつまで折れっぱなしかとやきもきしたがな。
Yeah, and honestly, I haven't found closure as a player yet, but I'm still different now. This may sound weird, but FC is kind of like my first love. I've long since moved on, but it's still hard to let go. Don't I know it? I think all of us go through that though, right? Like, unless you have a really terrible falling out with the first person you fell in love with, like, you kind of always have a special place in your heart for them. The fact that I still haven't gotten over it really makes it seem like a typical first love, which is rather embarrassing.
ま、手段はともかくとして、マサヤがいい顔になってきたのは嬉しいよ。
Thanks.
思うようにやれ。よほどのことじゃなければ、私は反対しないよ。
You should careful what you wish for. Aoi-san?
Hmm?
I've started to remember that I hate losing. Aoi-san lets out a short snort.
思い出してないじゃないか。その自己採点は不正解だ。いや、三角かな。
Okay. Huh?
お前はむちゃくちゃ負けず嫌いだよ。負けたくないから興味を持たないようにしてるだけだ。
Yeah, that's true. He avoids it. And that was the reasons probably that, is that he hates to lose. And so he's like, he refuses to let himself go over all the way because he knows if he does, he's going to feel the pain of losing.
今のマサヤもいいやつだと思うが、昔のバカなマサヤも私は結構気に入っていたよ。
She's probably going to say, now you're just an idiot.
久々に話せて楽しかった。
Oh, Aoi-san waves her hand at me and proceeds to leave. She really hasn't changed.
おっと、肝心なことを言い忘れるところだった。
Oh, what did we forget? Aoi-san turns around and pulls me away from a wave of emotions that were about to wash over me. What? You come here for something specific?
そうだよ。忠告しに来たんだ。
She aims a terrifying smile at me after saying that.
中間テスト、準備は万全なんだろうな。
Uh-oh. Ah! That's it! The thing I couldn't remember earlier in the club room. We're going to enter the week before midterm soon, and I haven't even started studying.
その顔を見ると何もしていなかったっぽいな。
Of course he isn't. I mean, I was a pretty decent student, but even I was never like good at like actually studying until I actually went to college. Aoi-san says that in an exasperated voice, sorry. We've got 3 problem children, yeah?
ああ、あいつとあいつと転校してきたからあいつもか。
I like how they're here in spirit, mortified. The previous conversation we had on the matter is obvious to who she's talking about.
そっちのコーチもよろしく頼むぞ、マサヤ。
You can't be serious.
PSQ で遊んでるぐらいだからできるよな、当然。本人が勉強すればいいわけじゃないのが辛いところだが、これも経験だ。しっかりやってみろ。じゃ、ケント。
With that, Aoi-san leaves for real. Crap, I need to do something. I'm left in the club room alone, PSQ in hand, and a cold sweat covering my whole body. Yeah, it's like, not only does he have to pass, but he's got to make sure the other teammates pass too. Because in most schools, I'm guessing this school will be the case, if your grades are too bad, you actually can't be on clubs. But what can I do? It's hard to come up with a good idea on the spot. I would say try and incorporate training and education. Madoka! There she is. So yeah, things are going south real fast if we don't start studying. Her face goes stiff upon hearing my words.
そうですよね。しなくちゃ。
I love the squares. The square eyes are just like pain. This is the first time I've seen Asuka look depressed. And it's not a look I like on her either. Considering how cheerful she normally is, I'd prefer she regains her usual smile as soon as possible.
だね。何か対策立てないと本気で部活できなくなっちゃうよね。
Ironically, like it's like it was playing it off like you might have trouble, but it sounds like you actually do really good, Madoka. Exactly. So those of you who are at risk of failing will have to start studying.
やったー！お休みだ！
Nope. We who aren't at risk of failing suddenly have to help make sure that the others don't. What are you talking about? You'll be busy helping us out.
私も？
Those of us who are definitely going to pass will tutor the rest. That'll be our practice for the week.
そんなの部活じゃないじゃん。ブーブー。
Boo boo yourself. We can't play on the team if we have no team. You won't change my mind by acting cute, Misaki. You're in charge of tutoring Asuka.
マシロッチじゃないの？
Think about it. Would that end well? Madoka's expression reads makes sense. Guess that was enough of an explanation for her.
了解。じゃあテスト終わったらうどんね。
Can't you do anything without a carrot on a stick in front of you? Fine, whatever. We'll go grab some udon after the midterms.
わーい、うどんうどん。
So she's a big fan of udon. Is that why she became friends with Mashiro initially? Like, I don't want to think that she's that shallow, but part of me wonders if that's how that actually started. Misaki starts to bounce in place, seemingly overjoyed by the light at the end of the tunnel. This, ladies and gentlemen, is one of our school's top students. Really makes me wonder if God exists. He's like, why would a cruel being do this?
頑張ります。頑張ります。
Oh, Asuka. Compared to Misaki, Asuka seems like a deflated balloon.
大丈夫だよ。アスカちゃん地頭いいし、ちょっとコツつかめばすぐに成績良くなるよ。
I hope so. I worry though, Misaki doesn't seem to have her heart into any of it. Yeah, also Madoka, it's hard for me to say this, but...
わかってるよ。兄ちゃんについてはちゃんとやれってケツ叩いておくね。
Thank you. I'm glad you're quick on the uptake. From what I've heard, Perez is on the verge of failing his test each and every single time. Since he's a year above us, none of us can tutor him. Unfortunately, all we can do is cheer him on as he fights by himself. Still, he managed to get this far, so he should probably be fine. Well, that just leaves us with one more problem.
そうだね、知らせに行く？
Yeah, let's do it. With that, Madoka and I head off to the toughest nut to crack.
なんか緊張するね、こういうの。
Yeah, same. Really?
こうやって静かな廊下に靴音が響いて何かを宣告するのって緊張感出ない？
I see. You see the drama of it. Why is she acting like an executioner? You're kind of overboard there. At this point, it's just a reminder, remember? Our job is to eliminate the risk of her eventually receiving a death sentence.
しかし、マシロっち真面目そうに見えるのにテストの点はそうじゃないんだね。
Oh, I guess that she's similar to what my experience in high school was like, which was, I think I'm somewhere between what Mashiro and Misaki were. I don't think I'm a genius at all like Misaki, where she's just good at everything, right? But high school was not challenging for me. And to the point where I just was bored most of the time. So I never bothered doing homework at home. I usually would get most of my schoolwork done while I was in class, like while the teacher was like answering questions that kids were just like really basic stuff that people were just like not paying attention to and had to get answered over and over again. I would just sit and do the homework in class and then turn it in and be done. If I had stuff I had to take home, I almost just never did it and like would just come back with it empty and blank or half filled out like rapidly at the beginning of class. I just never tried. I wish I could go back and do it over again, actually put my effort in, because when I did start putting effort in senior year, I decided to jump myself into AP classes, and for the first time I was challenged, and I had a blast. I did not get the best grades in those classes because I wasn't used to having to push myself to just get homework done. But do you know how much fun I had being pushed in class to actually like stretch myself and not to be treated like, you know, like I was like not even like paying attention? It was life-changing. If I could go back, that'd be the thing I would do, because, you know, I never made it into like the advanced classes in elementary school or junior high, but I think if I'd pushed and just asked to be enrolled in those classes, I could have, and I think it would have been a lot more fulfilling of an experience for me. Heck, I probably could have graduated earlier. I did graduate a little early, technically. The only reason I didn't graduate completely early was because there were recreational classes I didn't want to give up, but my last semester of school, I basically only attended half the day because like I just didn't need to for the rest because I'd done all my classes. I was ready to graduate. Anyway, sorry, rambling again. Well, that's just the front she puts up at school. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. So, I had it easy and didn't really, I didn't try as hard, kind of like Misaki does, but like Mashiro, I think I didn't put in that effort because it just wasn't interesting to me, and I think that's her problem. Not many people here get to see what she's really like. Freshman classes haven't ended for the day, which is why the hallway is dead silent. We walk down the silent hallway, making sure to keep our voices down.
ここだね。
We've arrived at Mashiro's classroom. Looks like she'll be in there for a while longer. Should we come back later?
だね。せめて顔でも拝んでおこう。
Oh, peek into the classroom? Do I look creepy? Okay. I seriously don't get the point, but I admit I'm curious too. An opportunity to see Mashiro during class doesn't present itself too often. Fine, let's take a quick look. We peek inside the classroom as we walk by it. I have a feeling this is about to be very depressing. Because I'm gonna predict. I think we're gonna see her in class completely silent. Not talking to anybody, not paying attention to anyone. Other people in the class are chatting, and she's just sitting there by herself. Because that's the translation I get. She puts up walls unless she really likes somebody, and then she like becomes obsessed with them. That's what I think she is. She's a case of extremes. She isn't secretly playing Manita in there, is she? No way. That'd get in the way of her good girl act. So there's no way. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at her, even with the glasses. Aw, that's cute. She's so tiny though. Holy crap, she's small. I didn't know where she was sitting, but oddly enough, my eyes find Mashiro immediately. She's at a desk by the windows. There she sits wearing glasses. Huh? Does she have bad eyesight? I find myself startled by her appearance. You know, to be fair, if she needs glasses and it's not nearsightedness, even if it is, that might be why she's not like doing as well in FC. Did you know? I asked Madoka.
知らない知らない。
She shakes her head left to right as she answers my question. Seems this is news for both of us.
Huh?
Mashiro has noticed us. Gotcha! Our eyes meet. They just wave. Hi! After we gaze at each other for a while, Mashiro hurriedly takes off her glasses. Well, can't stay here much longer. Let's go.
だね。
Mashiro looks both embarrassed and annoyed as we walk away.
ああ、真っ白見られたんだ。そりゃ油断しすぎたね。
Why? Glasses are great. They're cute. Why?
油断？あの子メガネコンプレックスらしいからね。小さい頃、同級生の男子にからかわれたとかで。
Again, a creature of extremes. She got teased one time and she took it super personally.
子供っぽい。
Can't really blame her though.
あの子隠してるの見られるの怖がるからね。本性とかうどん屋の姿とかメガネもだけど。そうなのかな。
I mean, yeah.
真っ白っちメガネ見られたのが今までで一番慌ててたみたいに見えたから。
Aw, that's so sad if it's true.
そう？うどん屋はともかく本性よりも見られたくないってことはないと思うけど。じゃあ他の理由があるってこと？
Oh, I don't know. Because it was out of like the blue and it was like unexpected. She had no chance.
他の理由ができたとか。
What's that supposed to mean?
でもマサヤ的にはラッキーだったでしょ？
I guess it was a pretty interesting sight. I felt bad for thinking this, but seeing her get all flustered and embarrassed was just...
やっと目が悪い尻尾掴んだんだもんね。
Huh? Oh, right! Yeah, that's totally what I was thinking. Her bad eyesight doesn't suit her current fighter playstyle, not if she wants to win any matches anyway. I've been wanting to get Mashiro to change her playstyle for quite a while now, so this is just perfect. Why was my mind on something else back there? Something must be wrong with me. Yeah, I don't know. Feelings, emotions, attraction? Ugh, what could that be? Clearly not a human feeling. Yeah, I'm very lucky. This is a great opportunity. Yep. I'm surprised Misaki remembers I wanted to change Mashiro's playstyle. I only brought it up once or twice during meetings.
たどたどしい言い方。
Yeah, you notice, huh?
本心は違うところにあると見た。そうでしょう。
She know. Dang her! Why is she the only this sharp when it's inconvenient for me? Well, you guys know what to do now. Make sure you pass.
よし、頑張ろっか、アスカ。
Here come the eyes. Oh! Don't let her escape. She cannot be free of this. I'm heading to the club room. Good luck with the rest of the stuff, Madoka.
ほら、都合悪いからって逃げたな。
Yep. I flee the club room to escape it before it's too late. I still have some work to do before I bring up the matter of changing her playstyle. Guess I'll start by confronting Mashiro. She'd probably still be upset about us seeing her in glasses. Is that also why you squint at us so often? Is that you're trying to see us? Like, Later that day, after practice, I informed the not so happy Mashiro about her having to study for midterms. However...
Huh?
Don't just silently pull out your PSQ. Talk to me!
わかりませんか？試験集だって最後は美味しいご飯が出るんですよ。
Okay, how about we save that for after we've done everything else? Madoka made a similar comparison earlier. Is that a new hip thing? Did I miss a memo at some point? Basically, you want to go one last hunt before we get down to studying for the week, yeah? Mashiro nods in response to my question. I'm like, if you agree that we will jump into it after this, let's do it.
みんなを誘うのもちょっと気が引けますし。
Well, yeah, there isn't much time before the midterms. I say it as I turn on my PSQ.
先輩、最近質問に来ること減りましたね。
I've gotten a lot better, so I can handle most things on my own now.
ふん。へえ。
Okay. Why does she seem upset? She wants you to rely on
先
her.
輩って散々女に貢がせた後にポイとかしてそうですよね。
Where's that coming from? Wait, what gave you that idea?
なんとなくです。
First of all, I'm getting the feeling that our boyo here, based on the way he interacts with women, is that he's never had a girlfriend. Getting insulted based on a hunch feels pretty darn bad. Don't tell me. Do you want to play with me, Mashiro?
何言ってるんです？
At that, she fell silent again. For a while, I only heard the sound of her button mashing.
見ましたよね。
Eventually, Mashiro muttered something suddenly.
見ましたよね、メガネ。
Yes, I did. Oh, that's what she meant. Sure did. Now, you should do is you would look at her straight in the eye and say, like, you looked good in them. And then drop it. Just drop it. Like, okay, I was also hearing this thing too, like someone was pointing out too, like, I think it works for guys and girls, but like the conversation was talking about like talking to girls in general. The idea was that like you shouldn't, like, compliments should be real, first of all. Like, don't be shy with compliments, but they need to be real, tangible things. It can't just be like just vague, you know, pleasantries. Like, you need to say something that's meaningful and noticeable. And it's fine to compliment someone's appearance, especially if it's like complimenting maybe style choices or color matching or a particular choice of like attire that just seems very fitting for them. But the thing is that really what you're trying to like compliment is like someone's attributes, a personality trait, something that they do that like embellishes who they are as an individual, and not so much as like, oh, you look pretty, or that looks great on you. Now, granted, those are fine to give, but I feel like you need to make sure that these types of compliments are tailored to the person, and not just be like, oh yeah, you know, that swimming suit looks great on you. It also looks great on a model and on the, like, you know, plastic dummy at the store. It's like, no, like, it's a good compliment should come from a place of meaning and heart. And be like, so I would say probably to Mashiro, meaningfully, not even like, oh, I'm trying to flirt with you, but just like to give a meaningful compliment. Be like, actually, yeah, I think the glass, I did see the glasses. They actually were kind of cute. It fits you better than you probably think they do. And she'd be like, what? And you'd be like, well, like the color, for example. Like, it's just very striking and yet subtle. I feel like it's a good blend of like of what I come to learn about you. You know, that's more a compliment than just saying, oh, you look good in glasses. It's like, you do, but it's because it enhances and embellishes who you are as a person. I mean, one of my favorite compliments to give people, which always seemed to throw them for a loop, but I always got a positive reaction, was their socks. Because most people don't pay attention to socks. But if someone goes out of their way to wear flashy, goofy looking, or mismatched socks, that's a personal statement. Because they usually aren't doing that with their socks to draw the eyes. It's just something that people happen to notice. But if you happen to see them and you notice that they've gone to the trouble of having like fun socks, you should always say, hey, I like your socks. It's a great compliment because it's genuine, and it's hard to make that about like just complimenting how someone appears, because socks tend to be about personality, not about showmanship. And it's a weird one. It makes it sound like I stare at people's feet all the time. No, I'm talking about in the times when you notice that someone's wearing fun, interesting socks, which happens. I don't think I'm helping my case here. Let's move on. Yeah?
言いますよね。こういう時って普通何か。
Should I tell her I don't want to because I see her getting mad at me no matter what I say? Nah, that won't help any. Still, I wonder what she wants me to say.
怒らないから言ってください。感想。
I don't really have one.
似合ってないとか変とか。
Oh, yeah. Would you believe me if I said I thought they looked cute? There we go. You promised not to get mad. She was so enraged, her face had turned bright red. Dude, that's not rage. I'm being honest when I say that. I thought you looked cute. It's up to you whether you want to believe me or not. I pursued the monster on my screen as I say that. 1, 2 more hits. It should be down for the count. Gosh, dude, look up from your game for 5 seconds. All right, time to finish it off. I'm taking the killing blow today. I hold down the button to charge up my overhead slash. Oh, okay, so he does long blade, I'm guessing. The level 2 charge animation goes off. Level 3 now. All I need to do is let go of the button. The most devastating strike will obliterate the monster.
Hey.
Hey, why'd you kick me?
すみません。ちょっと操作をミスっちゃって。
Uh-huh. Yeah, right. Clearly I heard you say take this right before you hit me. Is that in the game? She kicked his character? Because, like, yeah, that would interrupt his combo. After that, Mashiro kept getting in the way as I tried to finish off the monster, which gave it time to return to its nest and recover. In the end, we barely managed to beat it before time ran out. That's cute, actually. I did like that. That interaction itself was really fun. With that, Mashiro's last meal came to an end, and from then on, all our scheduled practices were replaced with study sessions. Asuka was tutored by Misaki, Mashiro by Madoka, and Prez by himself. Everyone kept working diligently with the help of their teachers, and the only real exception was the one time I happened to spot Misaki getting junk food because of her udon withdrawal. 1 week later, it's time for the midterms. The classrooms are transformed into silent space. The unique atmosphere makes it feel restless, so I end up worrying about how things are going for the others. Hope everyone's doing okay. I look around the classroom. Of course. Misaki's already flipped her test over and started napping. It may look like she's just given up on the test to an untrained eye, but it's actually her way of claiming victory. Pretty impressive. I'm sure the answers written on the other side of her sheet add up to near-perfect score. Well, there's nothing to worry about in her case, but what about Asuka? It's also implying that she's that good. If she has a near-perfect score, I wonder if she's purposely getting wrong answers so she's not the best and getting perfects. Because that's too flashy and she doesn't want that attention. Yeah, how's Asuka doing? I glance in the direction of Asuka's desk. She's focused. She's single-mindedly filling in the answers. The incredible aura of focus she's radiating is something else. Well, glad to see she's not freaked out anymore. Based on her current attitude, I doubt she's gonna fail. That just leaves one person. I have a light sigh and think of poor Mashiro. If she doesn't overcome this hurdle, all the time we spent together trying to repair our relationship will be for nothing. Well, not for nothing. I really, really want her to make it. If only I could write a test for her. Okay, even I know that's a little much. I've been focused on Mashiro a lot lately, which has led me to being a little overprotective. Like a big brother. The 3 days of the midterms finally come to an end. The teachers have already finished grading all the tests, so we have to have our marks already. Huh? Not too shabby. I'm happy with my results. Got between 80 and 90 on most subjects, and my lowest grade is a 74 in math, which is my worst subject. That's still far from a failing grade.
では、これで中間テストは終了とする。
Seems we're finally free.
よし、それじゃあ青柳、号令だ。
起立
Depending on how the others performed, our club could cease to exist. Dang it. My heart's racing. Asuka? Asuka?
聞く
Uh-oh. Okay, that sound has to be worried.
そんなことはない
Oh
ですよ
gosh. What the?
ないですよ
Oh no. Did you fail a test? Asuka forms a feeble smile.
ダメではなか
Was
っ
it
た
like
んですが
by the skin of your teeth? She shows me the test she got back instead of elaborating. Let me see. True to her word, she hadn't failed a single test. She did well enough to pass everything, which is the condition she needs to meet to remain part of the club. However, her grades are definitely nothing to be proud of. Huh.
判断に困るって顔してますマセヤさん
I mean, it's hard to say, well, thank you for not being a total failure. But we probably should work on this. It's probably because I don't. She got between 50 and 60 across the board, so she doesn't really know if I should be congratulating her. Yeah, that's... Asuka, like, maybe we should make room for you to study a little bit, too. What do I do here?
おー点数報告会始まってるんだね
Oh, no. Madoka, please. Please don't barrel down like a bull in a china shop. Not exactly.
アスカちゃんなんとかクリアだねよ
Asuka responded rather awkwardly. I guess she's not too happy with her results. Makes sense.
ねえねえ私の答案見る
I'm sure. 98s across the board? How do you do, Prez? Madoka? How'd you do, Prez? How'd Prez do? Good grief. How'd Prez do, Madoka?
おーい1ミリもこっち見ないでスルーすんな
Yeah, well, I don't need you to show off. I know you did great. I can already tell how you did. There's no point in looking at him. Like I said, Misaki's so smart it makes me question whether God really exists. Though, looking at her odd personality or the fact that she's so addicted to udon, it seems clear she has a few screws loose up there.
つまんないいいからさっさとうどん会しようよ
Yeah, yeah. Misaki says that as she folds her test into paper airplanes. Gotta admit, that's a pretty cool attitude to have about it. It's like, oh, look, cool, I got done well on the test. Airplane time. I see numbers like hundreds and 98s at the edges to find myself rendered speechless by the inherent difference of talent between us.
ま、美咲は安定枠よね
Back on topic, how did Prez do? Madoka forwards a wry smile in response to my question.
測ったようにいつも通りだよ。40点から42点の間で全教科統一してた。
Is that actually a pass? Holy crap! I see. I feel relieved, but at the same time, I know it's far too close for comfort. If we were classmates, I'd probably have told him to study more, but since he's a year older than me, I can't say that. That's me. Okay. Well, okay, so I'm gonna assume some things. I know I've heard snippets before, but I'm gonna guess. Okay, so if technically a 40 up is a passing grade in Japan, that's definitely not what it is in the United States. However, I do believe I've heard that the Japanese system is a lot more stringent. It's a lot more aggressive with the content. So they handle content at a faster pace and are expected to like be good at memorizing and producing the results. So what I got A's and B's in my high school experience, I probably get B's and C's in the Japanese school experience if I were there, based on my personality. Granted, again, I tended to flourish when challenged, and so if the school curriculum was more challenging, it probably would actually help me perform better. So yeah, cause my gosh, like when I got to college, like my grades soared. I think I basically had straight A's except for like a couple outliers, which were like just classes that were just really challenging for me. But even then, I tended to get B's. Like, I just was a good studier. And if I was invested in the content at all, like I was fantastic because it held my attention, kind of like visual novels and stuff like this. I hold to it. My brain can really grab information. I just have to have just a crumb of investment in it.
とりあえずケツは蹴っておいたから。
Head pats. Just good job, Madoka. Thanks. That leaves only Mashiro, huh? She usually comes rushing into our classroom the moment school's done for the day. Uh-oh.
来ないということは、やばい匂いがする。
Oh no. Let's go. Everyone nods in response. When we arrive at Mashiro's classroom, we find that it's mostly empty. More students have left, only a few remain here and there. Among those students, sitting all by herself is... Mashiro! Everybody jerks up as I call her name. Are you afraid? I'm sure you saw this coming.
語尾おかしいよ、マシロッチ。森の奥に住むおばあちゃんみたいな語尾だね。
Oh no. Putting Asuka's remark aside, it's clear that Mashiro isn't in a normal state of mind right now. Can we see how you did, Mashiro? Upon hearing my question, Mashiro positioned herself in front of her desk as if to guard it. Oh no.
嫌です。
Oh no. Mashiro.
嫌です。見せたくないです。
It's kind of cute. She stows her test papers away in her desk, leaves no room for us to pull them out. Acting like this won't change your test results, Mashiro.
マシロ？はーい。
Oh, there she goes, melting in, just putty in the hand.
ほら、怒らないから見せてみて。はーい。
Following Misaki's suggestion, Mashiro begrudgingly pulls out her tests. Oh.
これは。
Oh no. Oh no. Our reactions all differ, but I'm sure we're all thinking the exact same thing on the inside. Mashiro's grades are mostly below 50. And yeah, that would be fine, except she only got 31 in classic Japanese and 28 in geography. Oh my gosh, 28. Oh. Now granted, if that geography is requiring you to not only know where all the countries in the world are, but their capitals, that was one I struggled with. I was terrible at memorizing capital cities. In other words, she failed those two tests.
ごめんなさい。ダメでした。
Well, looks like we got a little more work to do. Mashiro's shoulders droop dejectedly. And Madoka is clutching her head, looking extremely sad as she stands next to her.
予想範囲は間違ってなかったと思うんだけど、何がいけなかったんだろう。
Madoka, you didn't just let her play games the whole time you talked, did you? I suppose this is a frustrating result for Madoka as well, since she acted as her tutor.
先輩。
Yeah?
これで部活できなくなるんですか？私。
I'd be like, I don't want you to, and I don't know if we'll have to. I imagine you'll have makeup tests you could do. Maybe we all work together and get you ready for those. Mashiro looks at me with unsteady eyes. Naturally, I know there's no time to tease her, and so I form a smile in an attempt to ease her tension before telling her how to fix the issue. Don't worry, you still have the makeup tests. You'll be fine as long as you pass those.
そっか。そうですよね。
Oh, I wonder if she was almost hoping for an excuse to quit. Because she doesn't want to quit of her own volition, but if it's something that can't be helped, it could let her walk away and not feel as guilty, or at least she would think that. She must have felt dead inside. It's the only way she could have forgotten about the makeup tests.
追試はテスト終了後の翌々日だから、それまでにちゃんと見直しすればいけるよ。ごめんなさい先輩。いいよいいよ。次はさっくりクリアして何の心配もなくうどん会やろう。うどん、今うどんって言った。
Oh my gosh, it's like a dog. You're saying walk, and they're like, walk, walk? Misaki, quiet.
そういえば私初めてかもです。ましろちゃんの家に行くのって。そっか、じゃあ楽しみだね。
But you got a few days of hard work ahead of you before we can do that, Mashiro.
わかってます。
Mashiro's still appearing uneasy, which makes Madoka pound her chest confidently.
いけるいける。それ終わったら打ち上げうどんだ。私に任せなさいって。いけますかね。いけるよ。気合い入れていこう。
Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns, or in this case, the teacher's tests.
行きます。それで息抜きします。
Oh no. Madoka shines in these situations. Asuka's straightforward attitude makes it hard for her to cheer up people, and Misaki doesn't seem to care about anything other than udon, so neither of them are much help. Our manager's doing a great job. Yeah, she is!
ありがとう。でもこの後のフォローはお願いね。
What? For some reason, Madoka directs a stiff smile at me. Huh?
ひなたくん、後ろ後ろ。
Uh-oh. Aoi? I slowly turn around and take in a scary sight. Oh no!
息抜きか。それもいいな。
Aoi-san standing there with a cold smile on her face. How did she manage to sneak up on us?
先生。
知っているか、リサカ。息抜きってのはな、緊張を解いて気分転換のために休むことを言うんだ。
わかります。
わかるか？それなら今お前がしなきゃいけないこともわかるな。
はい、追試頑張ります。っていつの間にかみんないないし。
I'm sorry, Mashiro. I don't really know how Mashiro managed to escape the clutches of an enraged Aoi-san. The only thing I know for sure is that she went on to devote herself to studying for the makeup exams. In the end, Mashiro successfully passed all her tests and just barely managed to remain a part of the club. However, Aoi-san's lectured me for letting one of my players perform so poorly, and I was told to make things go more smoothly on the finals. All things considered, I'm pretty worried about the future, but I can worry about that later. Right now, it's udon party time.
どうも。
Okay. I think we might stop here. We've had some good build-up. I think the udon party might be a fun kind of interaction, and it's probably going to phase us into the next chapter now that we know how the testing has gone. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I enjoyed recording it. I like playing these more, like, I don't know. I mean, it might still get depressing in the future, right? But I do really like these more romance-focused, even sport-focused visual novels and stories, because it's nice to have just a breath of fresh air, right? It's just nice, especially coming back from all my stuff and trying to get back into the swing of like normal life again. It's like, I kind of needed this. This has been a very good episode to record. I'm very happy with it. So looking forward to being able to do more in the future and share more of these fun stories with everybody. But for now, we're going to sit back, relax. Gonna go get some sleep, get ready for work tomorrow. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel and for joining me on this wonderful adventure as always. It's a pleasure having you. I hope you all had a good time. Thank you for being patient with me and for the continued patience you'll have for me. And I know this was a lot of ranting in this episode, which probably meant that we didn't progress as much as we normally should, but I hope you don't mind. I had a good time. And it was nice to be able to kind of reflect on things that I remember from growing up and going to school and doing all that stuff. Hopefully it's somewhat interesting to you, maybe even helpful in some ways, but mostly we're probably just all here having similar random thoughts. So I'm looking forward to reading your comments on this one. Maybe see if you have similar experiences that I did. And if all else fails, thanks for being here. It means the world to me. Anyone who's here supporting the channel, it's like you're so precious because the nature of a channel like this, every single one of you is super important to me. And I'm grateful for you. So thank you. And I hope you had a good time. But until the next video you're watching me, have to see me in next. I'll see you there.